is our good friend and our chosen insurance professional, Mr. Carlos Villalobos with Carlos Villalobos Insurance. Thanks again for being here, buddy.
Thank you.
And this guy's calm, cool, and collected because he just knows his job. That's why I like bringing you on. You're like, just throw it at me, and I'll tell you the best I know. You're not a salesman. You just provide great service, though.
I used to be a salesman. I've graduated.
No, I love that statement because actually anybody that starts off, especially we do have to do sales, but you do start off as a salesman. After a while, you realize it's really adding value that it creates, great customer service.
Yeah, we've gotten to the point where, we'd rather walk away from somebody if they're really stubborn or they don't want to do the things that we know it's the right thing for them to do, or if they're underinsured and they don't care. That's just a ticking time bomb waiting to go off, and I don't want to do that.
And you don't want to be part of that.
No, because then the person that's going to get in trouble is going to be me.
Right. I mean, when they're standing on a landmine, usually people walk away.
That's a good idea.
Again, we're here with Carlos Villalobos Insurance. And if you want to let me make sure we get your information. How can they get a hold of you and your great team out here?
We're here in Santa Clarita on the old road, next to Sit and Sleep. Now, that's not a plug for them, but that's where we're at. Our phone number is 661-255-8282. Again, that's 255-8282.
All right, Carlos Villalobos Insurance. All right, we're going to talk about two things before we close out the show today on the Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show. Again, you can find out more at donandgino.com. You can actually watch our show live because we have video cameras on our show and we video it. You can go to donandgino.com and watch it live. And also we replay the show every day at 9 a.m. and 7 p.m. online. Again, at donandgino.com. Okay, let's talk about something that all of us hear about all the time. Uber and Lyft. This is fun. Trouble. Because you think, oh, these guys picking me up, I'm sure they're insured for this, and I'm sure I'm insured.
And the bottom line is that's probably a true statement. They really think they're insured because they're paying their auto insurance, but they're not reading the fine print. And the fine print on most policies is that if you have an auto and you use it for business or for hire, you're charging a fare. There is no coverage at the moment of truth. And there have been plenty of claims already this year that are being denied by carriers. So you better read your policy. You better talk to your insurance agent. You want a second opinion, please call me. Be happy to do that for you. But if you have one of those vehicles and you're charging a fare, there is no coverage under most carriers.
Now, can they get coverage?
Yes, they probably would have to rewrite their personal insurance into some type of commercial policy. But there is a way. There's always a way to get coverage.
That's what I figured. I figured you can help them out with that.
The question is, what is it going to cost you?
Right.
But you're going to have to make that decision. Also, as a passenger, when you get in these vehicles, if you get hurt, what are you going to do? Because if
they're not insured.
If their policy is not covered and they're denying the claim, and you're seriously hurt, now you're in trouble.
And you don't think about those things. You just figure it's all hunky-dory and everybody's got their ducks in a row, but you got individuals just using their cars to go pick you up.
Right, and that's why like a limousine company or a taxi company, they have a special insurance that costs more than regular auto insurance, but you are fully protected. So
yeah, I know
something to think
limousine,
about.
I'm sure, is quite protected that we use. Ron and Brandon Stein, they're good guys.
Correct. They have the proper type of insurance. Most people that use Uber are trying to make a little money on the side. You can't blame them for doing that.
We use them.
Yeah, I use them. I used them this weekend. So who am I to talk? But I did use their limousine service, so it is covered. I know they're covered. Just be careful.
I'm sure you can find out if they're covered. I don't know how. The app probably doesn't have it, but
no. I think that's something that is all of a sudden coming up to the surface. It's fairly new. Everybody thought, oh, no big deal, until there's an accident, and then you start reading your exclusions, and you realize, oh my God, there's no coverage. Yeah. So if your vehicle's total, your passengers hurt, you could be liable for all those claims that are not covered by the carrier, but somebody's going to come after you.
And great information with Carlos Villalobos Insurance, located right on the old road here in Valencia, and part of our America's Professional Resource Group, the best group of professionals in all of Santa Cruz. You can find out more at aprgi.com, APRGI.com. You heard our new commercials. Pretty fun commercials, huh?
Yes, they've been very good.
Yeah. I mean, our goal is to help more of you with really solid advice from trusted professionals that have, in most cases, 15 to 30 years experience. So, again, APRGI.com. Okay, before we close out, got a few more minutes here. Another key factor. It's hard to even talk about, but it's reality, and that's what we're here. We're informing people. This thing, we're due, huh?
Yeah, we're past due. We're talking about earthquake, and of course,
I can't even say it.
Well, you know what? I've lived through a couple. I personally hate them. I have no control. I feel like I lose any stability in my life when it happens. In the last one, when I lived in Canyon Country, we were red tagged. So we had to evacuate our home. There was a gas leak in the neighborhood, extensive damage, and, here we're living outside of a hotel for a week and a half. Then that's all settled. I go back to my office and on Lions, and that building was red tagged. So now I'm working out of my garage for 2 months. So yes, earthquake is something that in California you're going to live with. And it's something that you should seriously take into consideration to purchase a policy if you don't have one.
Why don't we talk a little bit about what the options are?
Well, most consumers think that the only thing out there is the CEA, the California Earthquake Authority, not realizing that nowadays there are a lot of carriers out there that can give you a much more comprehensive policy with better coverages, lower deductibles, and in some cases, the same premium. Some cases you're going to pay more, but if anytime you get more coverage, then at least as a consumer, you have a choice now. Hey, it's the CEA with a 15% or 10% deductible, or I can go get another policy through QBE with a 5% deductible. More premium, but when it happens, it's less out of pocket. So there's a lot of options out there. Talk to your insurance agent, or better yet, call us at 255-8282, and we'll be happy to give you a quote so you can compare to what you have.
Nice.
And we're due, Santa Clarita. It's just a matter of when.
And it's not like it doesn't we're sitting on the fault line. I mean, bottom line.
I thought you said the vault line for a second.
I
don't know why.
It was a Freudian slip, dude. We're at the Vault Media Studio.
Yeah. The sad part is that there's really no warning, and it can be a 5.0, a 6.0, and you may not have no damage, and your neighbor is completely red-tagged building, because an earthquake is just like the roots of a tree. You never know when they're coming up.
No doubt about it.
And we've seen that over the years, that some properties have no damage, and the one next door is a total loss.
All right, so reach out to Carlos Villalobos, so Carlos Villalobos Insurance, our chosen insurance professional. And thank you again for joining us on the Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show every Saturday, 9 a.m., right here on AM 1220 KHTS. We thank you for letting us in your home every Saturday, and we hope you have a great weekend. Happy house hunting, and make sure you reach out to us again at Skyline Home Loans. You can go to SantaClaritaHomeLoan.com to find out more. We have the best group of professionals like Carlos Villalobos at APRGI.com, and there's always a lot of great information at DonandGino.com. There's so many resources. That's what we've been doing for 4 years. We thank you for the opportunity to be part of your lives and guiding you to personal and financial wellness. You have a great Saturday. Thanks again, Carlos.
Thank you very much for having me. It was a pleasure.
All right. Have a great weekend, everyone, and be good humans.